Morning, Steve. Good to see you. If you have a question for Steve Forbes, go ahead, use the raise hand tool. And if you need access to record, just send me a note in the chat window. So we'll wait and get the first questions, and then we'll get going. First one is from David Teal. Go ahead, David.
Steve, you guys rank second in the conference in defensive efficiency. Who is the linchpin for your group defense? Who makes it happen, either from a communication standpoint, on the ball, at the rim? You pick.
Jake Laravia. He's all over the court, not only on offense but defense. He's very disruptive. Gets his hands on a lot of balls, David. He's typically in the right spot, except maybe for the last two plays against Notre Dame. He's a good communicator. So if there's anybody that anchors our defense, I would say it would be Jake, and he can guard multiple positions. A lot of guys can't do it. I think I may have told you this from the get-go. The most impressive thing that I saw when I got him in June was he could really move his feet defensively. He could guard anybody on the court. I noticed it when we were doing zigzags every day, kind of like they did in the Hoosiers. Coach line them up and do zigzags. We do that. And I just think he's a real versatile defender.
All right. Next question is from Connor O'Neill. Go ahead, Connor.
Steve, this might be a little bit of a repeat, and I apologize for repeating a little bit from earlier this year, but what's the key to getting your team to play well on the road?
I don't know, Connor. I think just not making a big deal out of it. It's no different playing on the road and it's playing at home. In fact, sometimes it's easier to play on the road, in my opinion, because you're not waiting for the crowd to get you going. Sometimes I think teams relax at home because they just fit there at home. I think you're a little bit more on edge. At least I am. I'm sure the players are. When you're on the road, it's more of a us against them mentality. And so I don't think there's nothing we do any different. It's just being who we are and sticking to it. And maybe that has a lot to do with it too. I've been with coaches that when they go play on the road, they try to kind of change the way they play a little bit, a little more conservative, whatever it is. We don't roll that way. We are who we are and we go play. And so I think it's just a mentality that you acquire over time, and I think our players to this point have played pretty fearless on the road. Not always great, not always perfect, but have played pretty darn fearless.
Did you get a sense of that? Can you get a sense for that in the preseason? I don't know if the trip to South Carolina showed you any of that, but
maybe, I felt like when we came out of that scrimmage, we're gonna be pretty good because Coach Martin's team's always defending or physical, and we handled that. I suppose going down there to Northwest Florida, and even though we played an unbelievable first half offensively against Oregon State, we were not very good in the second half, but we found a way to win. We found a way to win in Charlotte. We went to Virginia Tech and played really well. So I think it's just kind of a culmination as you keep progressing in your season. Listen, I know a lot is put on in non-conference. I get it. But teams, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're not going to stay the same. And there's a lot of teams in this country that get better as the year goes along. And I feel like we are one of those teams and we can continue to get better. And so I think it's a process of that too.
We'll go to John Dell. Go ahead, John.
Steve, you're almost through your first full season in the ACC with fans, because I know it's a lot different than it was last year. Is there a bigger surprise to you at all if you're going? I mean, you're going to Clemson for the first time, but what has surprised you the most about the ACC?
I don't know if I was surprised. I was impressed. I'm very impressed with the Carrier Dome. I've been in some real shit domes in my life playing, and I was really, really impressed with the Carrier Dome. And I'd never been to Cameron, and I was unbelievably impressed with it and the professionalism of their fans. I didn't hear any, and I don't listen for it, but I didn't hear any like crazy stuff coming out of them. They were just cheering for their team really hard. I respect that. I thought Virginia is a tremendous place to play basketball. I thought Virginia Tech was, I think it was sold out when we were there. I believe they they were so sportsmanlike there that they introduced a new football coach. And I met him in the hotel coming over, and he told me good luck. Is it Coach Pry? Is that right? And Coach Pry, I said, you don't really mean that, do you? And he said, well, you're probably right. I don't, so, I mean, Louisville might be the nicest college basketball facility I've been in. I've been about all of them. I mean, it's phenomenal. It is impressive, so, I've been in some really great places, and the fans have been really tremendous. So I'm impressed. I don't know if anything's really surprised me, John. It's more just being in these places has been special. Florida State. I went to Florida State a long time ago when they hadn't renovated the place, and now that it's renovated, wow, what an impressive place to play. So it's probably everything I thought and more.
Mike Barber, go ahead.
Hey, Steve, you told me a couple of weeks ago that going in, you thought you had a pretty good basketball team, even if people outside of Wake maybe didn't expect that. I'm curious to sort of follow up on that line of questioning. Did your players feel that way? Or do they feel a sense of I don't know, overachievement? And if so, kind of how do you keep them motivated?
Mike, have you ever been a player that didn't think he was any good? Come on. No, they don't feel like they're overachieving. They're confident. They're confident. And that's part of Mike of recruiting the way we did. In the portal, we got some experienced players, a couple guys like Dallas and Alondas who've been in the NCAA tournament. And I think that mentality has carried over. Jake LaRavia is a very confident basketball player. He's a very confident person. And so, I think it's more just keeping them, blocking out the noise, keeping their circle tight right now, not listening to outside influences as far as, hey, you guys are good, pats on the back, that type of stuff. Doesn't matter. Got to keep stacking wins. But coming out of the summer, Mike, I felt we were good, and I know, and that was because I knew they felt like they were good. They were a confident group, and they could score the ball.
Thank you.
Luke DeCock, go ahead.
Steve, I got to follow up on the shit domes. What are the worst dome type buildings that you played in?
Come on, man, you're not gonna put me on Twitter today, man. Twitter's busy already. It's just kind of more. I thought that, like, I've been in the, in Atlanta before in the old. Well, I was there when the tornado hit. So I've been in San Antonio. I've been in the one in St. Louis, the TWA, or I think they're called, I don't remember the names now, but I use those as examples. They just weren't very personal. They were pretty, just a big place to play a basketball game. I felt like the dome had character to it, and it was a basketball. It felt like a basketball arena, not a place where you play football and you stuck a court on. If that makes sense. But I'm not gonna dog out. I played in the Unidome, Luke, for the state championship in 1982 in football. That's my favorite dome. We won the state football championship in 1982 when I was a wide receiver, not a tackle. And so I think it's just more the character of it and the history, but I think they've done a really good job of making it into a basketball arena. My very first Division I job was at Idaho, and they play in a dome there, and they got a new arena now, but it just didn't feel that way. They even tried to put curtains around it, right? And it just, so I just hats off to them. I think it's a great place.
Thanks.
Steve, that's all the time that I have for you today. Thank you for joining us. We
Shot.
appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same.